Hi folks, hope you're well. So I've just put the video on talking about the fact of truth setting you free and lies still making you be held by the devil. Yes. And again, even while doing that video, it's not a surprise to me how still amazed I am by the statement by the assistant pastor of the church saying that he would change the words if God gave him a statement to give to the people that he knew could offend someone. Ugh. Well, I'm still amazed by that. Absolutely amazed. I am. It's just something. Okay. If I heard that from someone who'd only given their life to God a week ago, then okay. You'd expect that, wouldn't you? But from an assistant pastor of a church, someone who's supposed to step in for the pastor if the pastor can't be there, to say he would lie to God's people, saying that God told him to say something that God didn't actually say. Yeah. I still find myself astounded by that because it shouldn't be. Oh, no, it shouldn't be. That's the point. It shouldn't be that surprising. And as I say, as I said, the River Church isn't a standalone church of that they're doing things the devil's way. Well, as I said, these people were trained in a system that so many other ministers, most ministers have been trained in. So therefore, come on. And previous experience of that was the Community Centre, Community Church of God, Elgin, with Manuel. Can't remember what his second name is. One second. Manuel Martin Arroyo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Manuel Martin Arroyo. So Martin Arroyo is his surname. Yeah. I had him as example. Yeah. Praying it in a prayer meeting that God would help the hospitals and the GPs to deal with cancer and COVID. In a Pentecostal church. Again, astounded. What did I just hear? Excuse me? This is a Pentecostal church! And you think in any way, shape or form God is going to answer that prayer with a yes? And he was the one who kept on saying, this is a teaching church. What on earth are you trying to teach people with that? To pray for things that God could never say yes to. That God's going to agree to give healing to the world. Why? Because his people are so incompetent and so blinking useless. Because that's what Manuel admitted by saying that. Is that again? So, yeah, is that rare? No. So I mean, I was at the Boscombe Baptist Church and saying to the pastor there about, God has said to me that it would be a good idea to have everyone in the church on a rotational basis to pray for somebody, so everyone's covered by prayer. So therefore, on a weekly basis, even more often than that, but at least a weekly basis, you have a conversation with the person, ask them how they're doing, what's happening in their life, and therefore you get to pray for that person. So you get to speak to people, You get to know about people's lives and to care about people's lives, and then someone else caring about yours. That you know that whatever you're going through, you've got somebody praying for you. And the pastor said, no, we're not going to do that. Okay. It seemed a very, very simple thing to try and do that would be quite easy to manage, quite easy to do. And it would be a real blessing to the people in the church. And no, not interested in trying anything like that. But again, as I say, so therefore, and that was at least 10 years between me being in that church to the church that Manuel was in. So therefore, 10 years later, people not caring about helping each other, blessing people, praying for people, that sort of stuff. The pastor not caring about that. Same thing, different area, same thing. So therefore, yeah, this is not a case of saying the River Church is terrible, the Community Church of God was terrible, is terrible, whatever. It's not about saying that. It's not about pinpointing certain churches. It is simply a case, if you use the examples that you have, you can only use those examples. And again, when Manuel Martin Arroyo said he will not speak about other churches, he will not speak about politics, he will not speak about this, that, and this, that, and this. Straight away, I'm thinking, you're telling God that in this church, God can't tell you to speak about any of that stuff at all. Okay, then God will never give you anything. Never. Never. Knew straight away. That was demonic. Him saying, I won't talk about this is demonic. Absolutely demonic. Because where in the Bible do we see you can't talk about this? There's nowhere. There's nowhere. We're told to talk about these things. Right? We're told to talk about corruption. We're told to talk about, if a church is doing things in a bad way, we're told to talk about that. We're not told to keep it quiet and keep it in the church. What? How is that going to solve the problem? If they won't deal with it, you highlight it. That's the whole point. You're supposed to. You're supposed to talk about these sort of things. And you do. You've got to make sure that you're led by God in it, of course. But again, talk to people about being led. And I never heard that in the church. You wouldn't have heard Manuel Martin talking about that. He would never talk about being led by the Spirit. Never. He wanted you to be led by him. Right? Yeah. That's why he wanted to be everything in that church. And I tell you, it was killing him. It was killing him. I left the church in October in, I think, probably 2021. Around about June 2022, I saw him in the car park area, and he looked as if he had aged about 15 to 20 years in only 6 months. If he had stayed there, it would have killed him. But again, I've said, you can't carry a church. I don't care what human being you are, you can't carry a church. You're not strong enough. But there you go. It's what people want to do. And again, you've got to highlight this stuff to make sure that other people don't do it. Or that other people are aware that this is bad, this is dangerous. Don't do this stuff. And people in church, that they need to know that if they're in a church that's similar, then they're not on their own. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.